Welcome to Module 5, Lesson 2, Conducting Interviews. In this lesson, you'll learn how to approach and interview individuals during the count using the Counting Us app. We'll walk through each step from making introductions and gaining consent to conducting the survey, closing the interview, and finalizing your data. It's not always possible to know who's experiencing homelessness just by looking at them. Instead of making assumptions, focus on where you are, what the person is doing, and what time it is. If you're in a known unsheltered location, such as under a bridge, in a park, or near encampments, approach everyone you see in that area. When approaching someone, use a soft, non-confrontational introduction to explain who you are and why you are there. If the person says they're not homeless or doesn't want to participate, that's perfectly okay. Thank them for their time and move on respectfully. The key is to avoid assumptions and approach everyone with respect. When approaching someone, remember that your tone and body language matter just as much as your words. Start by greeting them calmly and introducing yourself. Ask politely if they have a few minutes to answer some questions. For example, you can say something like this: "Hi, my name is Tom. I'm a volunteer for the Point in Time Count. We're talking to folks who might not have a safe place to sleep. Do you have a safe place to sleep tonight? Do you know where I might find some people around here who don't?" Always be mindful of personal space. Try to find a private, safe area for the conversation if possible. Never sneak up on anyone or shine your flashlight in someone's face. Keep your hands visible. Maintain relaxed eye contact if appropriate, and use an open stance. Speak slowly, clearly, and kindly. Some people may be dealing with trauma, mental health challenges, or substance use. So a calm, respectful approach helps them feel safe and in control. Once you've introduced yourself, take a moment to explain a little bit more about why you're there. Let them know you're offering a hygiene kit or small incentive as a thank you for their time. Explain that the survey is voluntary, that their information will remain confidential, and that they can skip any question or stop at any time. You might say something like, "We're conducting a survey to better understand homelessness in our community and improve programs. Your participation is voluntary, and your responses will be kept confidential. You can choose to skip any question, and your answers will not affect your eligibility for any incentives or services, and the information will not be shared with anyone outside of our team. I will need to read each question all the way through. Can I have about 10 or so minutes of your time?" Engage with them at their level. If they're sitting, sit with them. Avoid standing over someone, as that can feel intimidating. If they agree, continue with the survey. If they decline, thank them and complete an observation-only survey in the Counting Us app to record that interaction. Once you've received consent, begin the interview using the Counting Us app. Go through each question exactly as it's written. This ensures that everyone is asked the same thing and keeps the data consistent. If someone doesn't understand a question, take a moment to clarify. But don't change the wording or make assumptions about what you think the questions mean. You can say something like, "That's a great question. The reason we ask this is to help understand what services people might need." Remember, people have the right to skip any question. Encourage, but don't pressure. The more complete the survey, the better our data. But your job is to make the person feel respected, not rushed. When you finish the survey, thank the person warmly for their time. If they ask about services, share the resource sheet or contact card provided to you by your team lead. This includes local outreach programs, shelters, and hotlines for support. Offer everyone a hygiene kit or other available incentive, even if they decline to participate. It's a small gesture that communicates appreciation for their time. End with a positive, kind tone, something like, "Thank you so much for talking with me tonight. I really appreciate your time, and I hope the rest of your evening goes well." Once you're finished with the interview, walk away from the person to a safe place and double-check your work in the Counting Us app. Include any additional notes or details about the person or interaction in the Counting Us app, then submit the survey. Try to do this before leaving the general area, so that the GPS point accurately reflects where the survey was conducted. Make sure the survey is complete, saved, and submitted correctly. If you're unsure whether it uploaded, check with your team lead before moving on to the next location. If you had to complete an observation-only survey, make sure that's also submitted accurately. This helps ensure every encounter is counted. Submitting accurate, complete data helps Fulton County build the most reliable picture of homelessness in our community. Here are a few surveying quick tips. Always approach every person with respect and dignity. Remember that you are interviewing highly vulnerable people and asking sensitive questions. Ask all questions as written, even if you think you already know the answer. Avoid assumptions or skipping questions. Consistency matters for accuracy. Be patient and kind. You're talking to people who may be tired, anxious, or cold. Keep your tone friendly and conversational, not mechanical. Lead with empathy, end with gratitude. Your warmth, professionalism, and compassion will make this process smoother for both you and the people you meet. Great work completing Module 5. Lesson 2. Conducting interviews. You now understand how to approach people respectfully, explain the purpose of the count, get consent, and complete surveys correctly using the Counting Us app. Each interaction is an opportunity to build trust and gather accurate data that helps improve services across Fulton County. When you're ready, move on to Module 6, where you'll get to practice what you've learned and see how these skills come together to support a successful point-in-time count.